Hi there and welcome to a new video. In this one I'm going to show you how you're going to be able to design easier 3D levels. So I have this GridMap node, and in 4.4 Dev 7, okay, it has received lots of updates to design our levels easier. So for example, I have this road over here. With the brush I will paint it, then I can rotate it with these buttons, or also, as you can see, they have the corresponding keyboard shortcuts. So let me check here the corresponding rotation. Okay, I can move. I will go ahead and put it over here once again. So let me quickly over there position it. It still requires some updates because, for example, as you can see, if I want to move at the same time that I'm trying to draw this, okay, well, things start to break a little bit and I have to set the rotation again. But I will show you how you're going to be able to set this up, because as you can see, you're going to be able to design like super accurate levels, okay, with quite ease. So that's what I actually want to show you how to do in this exact video. Because, for example, I have these row bits, and as you can see, it's going to connect mostly perfectly with this one, and I can then, okay, yes, the car would go from here to then here, and then, well, maybe here it will also go up a little bit more. So okay, I have to rotate this, I think that in this direction, yes it is. Then I have to increase the floor, okay, and there, here I would have it, but I don't think that these two road pieces are meant to actually be connected together, so maybe it is another one, because here this asset pack that I downloaded is huge. But for example, I would be able to connect this piece probably over here, okay, and now I can rotate it, and there I would have it, okay. But as you can see, this is also a problem that with asset packs you will have sometimes, that you have to look for the specific, in this case, well, road piece that will allow me to actually connect, okay, with this. So I will try to paint this one, and this one I believe that it will connect. So let me firstly rotate it in the corresponding direction. But no, this one also doesn't, because this one is straight and this one is a little bit like curved upwards. But okay, this one is the correct one that I should be using, okay. So let me rotate this accordingly. It's a little bit complicated to remember the keyboard shortcuts, but there we have it. And well, there we have the perfect connection between all the road pieces, okay. So to start off with this, I will delete like everything that I have over here so that we can start from complete scratch. What you should though have is basically some kind of asset pack already downloaded. In this case, I downloaded these free assets from Kenny, and well, I just have here a main scene, and the node that you have to add is a grid map. If you have previously used the grid map in 3D, you will know that in 4.3, well, and still in 4.4, it requires some improvements, at least in 4.4 Dev 7, but it did get much better than before. So once I have your grid map, well, you need your mesh library. How you create this? You create a new scene with, for example, a 3D node as the root. You can call it whatever you want. I will just call it mesh library. And well, now you will just drag and drop the different models inside of here that you want your grid map to use. I have here like hundreds, or I don't know if hundreds, but like dozens of models, and I will just select all of them. I will hold down shift and press over here, so there I have all of them, and I can drag and drop it wherever you want, okay. If you want, you can select one and like start separating them if you want to see them more clearly, but this is not something necessary, okay, because once you have this, what Godot will do is to break down each of these separated models into different, let's call them tiles, okay. So I go to then scene, export as mesh library, and I will save it wherever I want, okay. I will just save it there on my root. This will take some time, and there I have my mesh library, so I can directly quick load it over here. And there I have like everything. So the setup is indeed quite simple, but as I was mentioning in the introduction, you will need to set up some stuff. Now, in particular, as you can see, this asset pack is huge and does contain lots of things. So whenever you're using these kinds of things, you first have to understand how this asset packs works, because sometimes you may want to connect, for example, two pieces that even though your grid map is set up correctly, you won't be able to connect them just because the way in which they are set up is not meant to be connected, maybe this piece with this other one. Because of the slope that this one has, maybe it can't mathematically connect with the other one, as I have shown before. So well, that's the reason I have to take into account, because sometimes we can say, oh no, this grid map doesn't work correctly or whatever, but not, it is because the asset pack is not meant to be connected that way. So first of all, I will select here, for example, this one that is completely straight, and then well, here you have some tools that are quite similar to the tilemap 2D node if you have used it, and you have lots of shortcuts, so it is super difficult to actually remember all these if it is the first time that you're using this, or it is just one of your first times doing this. So you have to rotate X with A, you rotate Y with S, and you rotate the Z with D. You erase with W, you paint with E, you can pick with R, etc. So right now I'm going to use mostly these buttons over here. It's going to be much slower, but well, it is complicated to remember all that. So first of all, you can see, well, here I have this, and something that you will face is the fact that, okay, then if I want to move the camera, what can I do? Because if I right click, yes, I can move the camera, but I can't move in 3D space, because if I start pressing WASD, as you can see, I start changing the different options, okay? For example, right now, the erase is in W. You would be able to modify the keyboard shortcuts someplace over here, I believe, here in the editor settings, shortcuts, and you would be able technically to modify all these shortcuts, but it wouldn't be something that you would really love to spend your time in. So well, indeed, it could be quite difficult to move around a little bit. So the best thing would be to right click, okay, pan the camera around, or even you can go to top view and here start designing your own stuff. But well, sometimes, as you can see, it is not maybe the best thing to do lots of times. So if not, you can just, for example, let's see if I have this one, and as you can see, if I start pressing WASD, well, things start to move around. So for example, if you press escape, okay, and sorry, if you just press outside of it, it will close and you will be able to move around. So these are the best ways of working with this that I found. If you have another ones, you can comment them down below. So coming back to the example, I have this straight one. I can use here the brush, okay, and for example, let's paint here one, okay, and then I will paint another one over here, and it doesn't seem that bad, as you can see. But for example, let me now connect, let's try if this one is meant to be connected with this other one. Okay, so let me rotate it over here and then over here. Okay, yes, this one is meant to be connected, but I believe that if I want to connect another one, here I have to increase the floor, okay. So here, as you can see, here the floor, it is correct, the height, but well, this piece is just not meant to be connected with this one, okay, as simple as that. But for example, over here, when I want to connect this one, it is mostly like mathematically impossible to connect it perfectly. Well, in this case, it is, but as you can see, it is like super complicated to make it right. This is because of the cell size, that it is so big, because I can see like the snapping that it has is like super big. So you can go to the cell option, and here you configure the snap. So you can make this, for example, 1 1 1, so everything is going to be much smaller. So let me zoom in over here. So it's going to be much easier to position these things, okay. So I'll go, I believe that to floor 3 now that the things are smaller, or even to floor 4, and there I have it, okay. So as you can see, I have much more control over the things that I want to position, okay. So let's see if I can connect this one over here, okay. Yes, but I first have to lower the floor. I will do that to floor 1, no, floor 0, that is the first one. Let me rotate this accordingly, right there, and then like this, okay. And so you can see, it connects mostly like perfectly, mathematically perfect. So there you have it, okay. And it is, let's say, easier for some people, for some other is more complicated. I'm going to be doing a comparison of using this method and using snapping, okay. That is what most people just use for prototyping, because, well, setting all this up, then the rotation here, moving around the camera could be a little bit complicated, but well, it is still another method of designing 3D levels that I thought that was worth mentioning. So let me know in the comments down below.